struck him out. Boots it, baby! Let's play.
Mariners' final day here in Arlington, Texas, as they go for the series win. Fans streaming in to Globe Life Park to watch the Mariners take on the Texas Rangers. Glad to have you with us here in Arlington. Dave Sims, Mike Flowers, Root Sports Crew. Let's take a look. Mariner batting order that will face Andrew Cashner.
And they have been hot lately, scoring a lot of runs. It starts with Gene Segura last night, 2 for 4, his 10th home run on the season. Kyle Seager, the big base hit, bases loaded off the left-hander, drives in a couple of runs. Kyle also 2 home runs in this series, and Mike Zunino 2 for 2 last night, both hits home runs, one of them 470 feet away. For Cashner on the year, 24 starts for him, a 99 record, but a good ERA, 3.19 ERA, and 146 2/3. He has 78 strikeouts, 52 walks on the year. And a look at the defense for the Rangers. Willie Calhoun again in left field. The rookie is out there. The Mariners will test his arm. Mike Napoli making his first start of the series. He will be at first base, and Robinson Chirinos will do the catching. For Andrew Cashner against the Yankees, had a no decision, but went 7 innings, just 4 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. He threw 99 pitches.
Nice hot day here in Arlington, Texas. Mike, I get a tickle, and I know it's a generational thing, but looking at these guys at 99, 100 degrees, wearing full-on beard like Cashner, Napoli, and other guys. I mean, not the little, little trim thing. I mean, that's hot. I remember I had a beard once on more than one occasion.
Well, I believe Cashner is a Texan, so he's used to the heat.
Yeah.
But you're right. It has to be a little bit uncomfortable.
Cashner, 30 years old, out of Conroe, Texas, lives in Montgomery, Texas. First season with the Rangers, and Felix Hernandez back on the mound. He's going to be making his 53rd start against the Texas Rangers. He's got a chance to take the Mariners to Houston with 3 wins in this series. Here's Gene Segura. 2-run homer last night. 2 for 4 evening, hitting at 297. First pitch in there for a called strike 1. Stu Sherwood, your home plate umpire tonight. Laz Diaz at first, Jeff Nelson at second, and Vic Carapazza. He's at third.
For Cashner, his average fastball this year is at 93 miles an hour. See what happened in last night's ball game. Zunino again with a couple of home runs. Segura a home run himself. Kyle with the big base hit. We'll also mix in a curveball, a changeup, occasional slider. Opponent's hitting just 245 off of his fastball. He will try to keep the ball on the ground, and he throws a lot of strikes.
Straight up in the infield, outfield a couple steps towards right for Segura. Two and two, the count. Cashner, his 4th team, broke in with the Cubs back in 2010, went 2-6. There for the 11 season as well. Dribbler. After that, moved on to San Diego. Mariners saw him a few times there. He was there from 2012 to 2016. And then last year started with the Padres and ended up with Miami, going 1-4 with a 5.98 ERA. 2-2 to Segura. Gene's got 6 hits against him. He fought that off. Easy play for Napoli, 1 out. Another one of those swings. When you look at Segura, how did he get to that? The ball was almost in a catch glove.
Yeah, I think that he typically will let the ball travel, but right there at the last minute, he realized it was probably going to be a strike and tried to get it out of there.
Mitch Haniger, hot as the weather is, 7-game hitting streak, 15 for his last 30. Had his batting average up to 282.
He's really been swinging it well.
They give him the right side of the infield. 2 for 5 last night.
Saw the numbers earlier, 146 2/3 for Cashner. And just 78 strikeouts, and he has a pretty good fastball, slider, curveball, changeup, so you think his strikeout numbers would be better than that. But he pitches to contact. He's averaging around 15 pitches per inning. That is 8th lowest in the American League, so he wants the guys to put the ball in play. Another interesting note for him is he gets a lot of run support. Rangers are averaging 6 runs per 9 for him.
Impressive. 0-2 to Mitch. Well, I hope you didn't miss last night's game. 8-1 Mariners on 11 hits. The night before, 10-3 Mariners on 15 hits. Texas got the first game 5-3.
We've talked a lot about Kyle Seager and him hitting in this ballpark. But how about that at bat he had last night against Diekman? What a difference maker that was.
He was looking for his pitch when he pulled foul. And then Diekman throws pretty much a pitcher's pitch, fastball away.
It was fastball away at the knees, right on the corner, and Kyle hit it the other way with the bases loaded to drive in a couple of runs. 3 runs ended up scoring on an error. That was a big hit at the time.
Down low. All that happened in the same inning. A couple of batters after Robbie Cano had been tossed out of the game for the first time in his career. Big Carapazza was the home plate umpire. He's got third base tonight. Pulled to Andrews, the shortstop. So 2 down. And last time we saw Robbie, he was being ejected in the 7th inning. Wound up going 1 for 4. And, you know, we've seen more vociferous arguments, more demonstrative. Didn't seem like he got profane or anything. And a lot of times, I was talking to an umpire friend of mine, not in the major leagues, but he's been around for a lot of years. He says sometimes you just need to walk away, especially with a veteran guy.
The umpire.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with that.
And there's exceptions in everything in life. And not everybody's treated equal in this game. This is a future Hall of Famer. The attendants think that you may give him a little bit more rope than, you know, a younger guy, maybe a guy with credentials have not, you know, reached this point.
And even all that being said, have you seen him been thrown out as a Mariner?
Ever, not even back in New York.
Right, right. So that tells you something about him too. And it seemed that he was having a conversation. So, you know, one of the other things you and I were talking about is walk away, and the other part of it is just look at him and say that's enough. And Robbie knows. He knows what that means. He didn't even get that option, though.
That's my buddy said. That usually, he says, that's how you handle the veteran guys. All right, I've heard you. That's enough. Go away.
They know. Back in the lineup, though. He has been hot lately.
You know it. And at that point, the Mariners hadn't gone crazy with the run scoring.
No,
right?
That was an important part of the game.
It was. Napoli will take care of it. Inning over. And when we come back, Felix Hernandez returns. Glad to see him. It's coming up. Well, for the first time since the 31st of July, happy Felix night, everybody. Felix Hernandez back on the mound. Take a look at the lineup he'll face here tonight from the Rangers.
And for Felix, he will try to keep them in the ballpark tonight. They are first in home runs. And Elvis Andrus having a great year, hitting third in the lineup, 1 for 4, scored the only run last night. Robinson Chirinos, 1 for 3. He drove in the 1 run. And Mike Napoli again, making his first start of the series. He will hit 8th in the lineup. For Felix this year, 13 starts for Felix, 69 strikeouts, over 21 walks, 73 2/3 for him. ERA at a 4.28. And look at the defense for the Mariners. Heredia will get the start in center field. If you missed it again, Dyson out for the rest of the season, so Heredia in center field. Yonder Alonso had last night off. He is at first base, and Mike Zunino will do the catching.
First pitch from Felix, ball 1. Last time he was on the mound, it was right here against Texas. Got a no decision, going 5 1/3, 6 hits, 4 runs all earned, 3 walks, 5 Ks, gave up 2 homers. Seager for the first out.
And again for Felix, he's going to go 50 pitches or close to it. Hopefully he'll be able to work maybe 3 innings tonight. Andrew Albers will pick him up after that. There's the numbers in his last outing against these Rangers. 5 1/3, 6 hits, 4 earned runs. His average fastball this year at 91 miles an hour. He likes his curveball and his changeup. His changeup, one of the best pitches in the game. Opponent's hitting just 167 off of his changeup this year.
Terrific weapon. Here's Shin-Soo Choo. Exit strike 1.
Good fastball at 91 miles an hour.
Felix has 53 starts, most by a Ranger opponent. Second most against the Washington, Texas franchise to only the great Jim Cott, 61 starts. Bouncing ball. 0-2. Chu 1 for 3 in last night's game.
And some good signs. Felix on the disabled list. Bursitis in the shoulder. So you have to wonder where his velocity is going to be at. Well, he's been right at his average so far at 91 miles an hour.
In packs to get about 4 starts as we go to the finish line.
Where's his changeup at? Does he have a feel for his breaking ball? Command is something that I don't think you're necessarily going to get too concerned about in his first outing back. You'd like to see it, but again, he hasn't been out there for a while.
They know what they want to see. Right
there
on cue. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Long foul ball. Boy, there's something. You talk about the 50 pitches. You hope there's not a ton of foul balls this evening.
Yeah.
On that count.
And stay out of the high leverage situations. A bunch of runners on bases where he has to pitch out of some jams. You'd like to make it as easy as possible for him tonight. He would certainly like that too. Then you can extend his pitch count going his next time out.
Swing and a miss. Oh, and let's see. Foul tip.
Yeah.
Foul tip.
Maybe they hit Mike on his knee. Stumbled a little bit.
Part of the biz. Ground ball, Cano. Gets a nice hop. 2 down.
Going to see a couple of ground ball outs.
I'll bring up Elvis Andrus. So he's been detailing the first 3 games. A fabulous year. 7th in batting in the American League. 5th in runs, 3rd in hits, 4th in multi-hit games, 6th in total bases. It's all over the place. Extra base hits tied for 5th. Hitting well against righties at 309, which is 6th in the league. Strike 1. Felix here in Globe Life Park, 7 and 11 with a 4.38 ERA. Count goes to 1-1, Elvis. His good friend and rival, Adrian Beltre, on deck. Elvis sends one high to left field. Wind knocking it down. Here comes Gamble. And a good first inning for Felix Hernandez with a total of 12 pitches to get us 3 outs. Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by your local Ford stores. By Safeco Insurance, find a local agent at safeco.com. Do more. And by the Emerald Queen Casino, presenting an evening with Queen Latifah, November 4th. Tickets at emeraldqueen.com. Downtown Dallas Reunion Tower. Great cities in America. Nelson Cruz had a lot of success with this Ranger franchise. Going to lead off here in the second. 0 for 2 in last night's game. Smart heads up base running in the aftermath of that 2-run single by Seager last night. It was at first. Ball got away. Hit hard down the line. Ellie out of the box hard. Calhoun get it back in, and a leadoff double for Nelson Cruz. That's his 26th two-base hit.
And for Nelson, being aggressive, he has hit the ball hard in this series. Squares up another one. Nice line drive down into the corner. See how quickly they end up getting to the wall.
Anymore, I'll have to note when he doesn't hit it hard.
Yeah, that's a good point. Bring up a hot hitter for the Mariners and Kyle Seager. Kyle again with the big base hit last night to drive in a couple of runs. Homered in the first 2 games of this series.
He's got 5 hits, 1 a home run against Cashner. Drive deep to right center field. He's done it again. Kyle Seager with a line drive. 2-run homer, and the Mariners have a 2-0 lead. Home run number 25. RBIs 80 and 81. Wasting no time. Kyle Seager in his favorite ballpark on the road. Ding dong.
Well, we barely explained how hot he was. A couple of things about it. One, Kyle, we mentioned, loves hitting in this ballpark, and his 3rd home run in this series. He now has 25 home runs on the year. The thing to keep in mind is the Mariners hitting .275 as a team with runners in scoring position this year. Cashner, on the other hand, holding opponents to just a .170 average, so that is a huge hit for the Mariners off the guy that has the lowest batting average against with runners in scoring position.
Impressive. Seager's 2nd home run against Cashner. His 6th hit against him. Runs off the end of the bat, and he's aboard.
An infield hit.
3 consecutive hits here.
Right off the end of the bat, out of the reach of Gallo. Beltre in the lineup at the DH today, so Gallo gets to start at third. And Andrews can't handle the transfer. An infield hit.
There's another guy, HOT. Mike Zunino, 5-game hitting streak, 8 for his last 17, 2 for 2, 2 homers last night, 2 walks.
We saw the 111 games for Mike. 23 home runs, a career high for him. As far as catchers go in the American League, he is second in home runs behind Sanchez of the Yankees. Sanchez with 24.
Zuno. Strike one to Mike. Fine start to this second inning. Hard hit double into the left field corner by Cruz. A bullet home run right center field Seager. Infield hit for Alonso. Two. Mariners at 73 and 73 at 500 for the 17th time. 3.5 back in a wild card chase. Fouls it back.
Good short swing from Mike. Tough pitch to get to, 96 miles an hour. Fastball above his belt. Able to foul it off.
Two and two, runner at first, nobody out. A couple of runs in. Full count. And Gamble's on deck. Odor shading towards the bag at second for Zunino. Pitch. His fist got it out.
Cashner keeping the fastball up in the zone. That one more in the middle of the plate.
Three balls, 2 strikes. Good fight here by Zunino.
Next pitch will be number 9.
Like 2 for 6 against Cashner, and last night with the 2 home runs. Zunino's 3rd multi-home run game. And he takes all 4. 4 consecutive guys have reached here for the Mariners. First walk by Cashner.
I'm going to bring up Ben Gamble. Ben with a home run a couple of nights ago, a 3-run home run for Ben.
1 for 4 base hit in the 8th inning yesterday. 3-run homer that Mike talked about. It was drilled. Trying to make this an even bigger inning. Make it a real big inning. The 2 of the slower Mariners on base, Alonso and Zunino. Pitch to Gamble. Strike 1. Been at 279, 9 home runs at 52 runs batted in. Came up empty.
Cashner now has thrown 16 pitches in the inning, still nobody out. The Mariners going to work on his pitch count. It's a good thing he's been pitching well lately.
Mariners last night snapped a 7-game winning streak of Martin Perez. 7 starts, 7 victories until last night. Fouled off. Cashner's best year in the big leagues. He went 10-9. His most wins, 10-9. That was in the 2013 season with the Padres. 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. First out of the second inning.
We'll take a look at it. Stayed with the fastball. Throwing a lot of fastballs here. First time through the lineup. He's topped out at 96 miles an hour. Average fastball this year at 94, so he feels pretty good tonight.
Brings up Guillermo Heredia. A tough road trip for him, 1 for 13. Be able to put your finger on that one? His 1 for 13?
No, not really. I think for him, again, he's going to be in the lineup every day, and so they're making some adjustments to him. Looks to me as if he's trying to stay in the middle of the field. No problem there. He's lined out a couple of times, so a little bit of poor luck too, but I don't think there's been any changes in his swing or where he's at mechanically.
1 for 4 last night.
Yeah, and he stays aggressive. As long as he stays aggressive, he gives himself a chance because he can run.
Single to center in the 5th inning last night. It's a big inning for the Mariners. 8 men to the plate, 3 runs on 5 hits. 7th inning, they sent 8 men to the plate, 5 runs on 3 hits. 2-0 pitch here to Guillermo. Called strike. Go ahead and say it, Mike. Didn't have to be.
No, it didn't. There's been a couple of pitches like that in the inning. But I guess if Felix gets him too, that's all right.
Foul ball. 2-2. Other games of big time wild card interest. Cleveland going for its 22nd consecutive win. 1-1 with Kansas City. That's in the 5th inning in Cleveland. Yankees lead Baltimore 6-1. That's in the 4th. Put it in play to Andrews. That's all they'll get. As Heredia can run well, slow roller. So Zunino erased. Alonso to 3rd. And a set up here for Segura. Runners at the corners, 2 out. Gene with a ground out on a check swing. First time up.
It almost looked like it was a backup slider. What I mean by that is it was spinning. It looked like a slider, but just didn't break much. It was a late swing. Ended up grounding out to first.
Give him a big hole right side of the infield. Ready it back quickly. Bluffed by Chirinos. Mariners on their social media Facebook page had a nice little segment with Maniac, the third base coach. Had him mic'd up over a series of games. A lot of entertaining comments there. 1-1 here to Gene.
We're talking about the Mariners and their lineup and scoring a bunch of runs lately. A lot of guys are hot, and we wanted Gene to jump on board. And maybe last night was a start. He ended up with a couple of hits, including a home run last night. His 10th home run on the year.
And going into last night, he was 0 for 8. And over his last 5 games, 3 for 22. Snap out last night. 25 pitches thrown by Cashner in this inning. To have Gene signed up, long-term contract earlier in the summer. Batting average starting tonight, .297. He was among the leaders for a while. A couple stints on the DL. All in all, good year. Good first year over here in the American League. All 2 strikes. Foul. Hope the boys hydrated today because it was hot.
It was really hot, yeah. During batting practice, 99.
Every bit of it. Chu coming in, and he's there, makes the play. 2-run homer by Kyle Seager as the Mariners bang out a couple of hits. Seager, no question about that, right in his wheelhouse. Kyle Seager's 25th home run. Mariners have a 2-0 lead. Sports is brought to you by Primera Blue Cross, always in your corner. And by Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. You like steak, good place to be down here in Texas as Felix Hernandez faces off against Adrian Beltre. Had a chance to finally get over and congratulate Adrian on career hit number 3,000, caught him in the tunnel. You playing tonight? I'm not going to let Felix pass.
Had a hamstring issue, was on the disabled list, activated, pinch hit last night, flew out to center field, beginning to start as the DH tonight.
Coming into hit number 3,000, he was a game away from facing Felix, but he got it the night before. 1-1. Word was that Beltre's season was going to be over. Grade 2 hamstring strain. 31st of August against Tampa Bay. 37th all-time in home runs, 461. 26th all-time in hits, 3,035. These guys, they play like they're brothers, and they get after each other fiercely like brothers can do. Beltre 245 against Felix with a homer, 3 runs batted in.
There will definitely be a running conversation.
9 walks and 9 Ks.
Felix thought he had the strikeout right there, and he probably should have. It's a good pitch on the plate, didn't get the call.
Felix needed 12 pitches in the first inning. 2-2 pitch. Comebacker. We'll talk to him the entire way down. Yes, he will. Make him run. 1 out. One out here in the second inning.
There's somebody that Felix wants to be careful with, Gallo. 37 home runs on the year. Yeah, he has a lot of strikeouts. And
fourth in Ks and third in home runs.
Felix aware of that. So if he can get ahead of him, he will expand the strike zone.
I'm going to say Gallo, Odor, and Napoli, 3 all or nothing guys in this lineup. Make a mistake, they will take you out of the ballpark.
The home run totals will tell you that, and their batting average will too. Gallo hitting .206.
Odor's down to .211 and Napoli at .194. What a boost this guy can give this ball club.
You're right about that. And then you have Paxton right behind him.
Oh, Squibber going to get into left field. Base hit for Gallo. Gamble gets to it quickly. One out base runner for the Rangers here in the second. Okay, while the Mariners hit the field, your youngsters, they can hit the playfield. Stop by the Seattle Children's Playfield next time you're at the ballpark, where kids can enjoy playground, wishing well, and more. One out base runner for Texas here in the second. If you're just tuning in, Kyle Seager, first pitch he saw with Cruz at second base, having led off the second inning, a bullet home run right center field for the 2-0 Mariner lead. Series recap down there. Offensively, been a good one for the Mariners. There's Chirinos.
Felix will be around 50 pitches tonight. He's now at 22 in the game.
Chirinos has reached base safely. 27 consecutive games, longest active streak in the majors. Tied for 6th longest this year in the American League. Ground ball. Ooh, handcuffs. Seager gets by him. Gallo to third. Gamble quickly digging it up. Stop sign. Tony Beasley holds up Gallo at third. Into second is Chirinos. So he's on base once again. 28 consecutive games.
This will be a double. It's right down the line. Kyle going for the backhanded play.
The 2-base hit. Brings up Odor. So right down the line. Kyle couldn't handle. Brings up Rougned Odor. 211, but he's got 28 home runs. Felix trying to put him away here. First pitch strike.
I like that he started him off with a breaking ball. Odor wants to hit the fastball.
Mariners have tamed him coming into tonight's game. He's 1 for 13, 7 Ks over his last 5 games. Right at Haniger. Gallo to tag, he'll score, and the Rangers on the board. Sac fly by Odor, picks up his 67th run batted in. Get on a plane after tonight's game and head to Houston. Short flight. James Paxton will welcome him back tomorrow. CenturyLink bringing you this. Charlie Morton will be his opponent. Rosmo Ramirez against Dallas Keuchel and Andrew Moore against Justin Verlander.
For Paxton, he'll be around 65 pitches. Felix 50 tonight. Paxton will be at around 60, 65. Good to see him back up on the mound too.
2 out, man at second. Here's Mike Napoli. Napoli playing for the first time since Sunday against the Yankees. Stress reaction in his lower right leg. Napoli a 182 hitter against Felix. Strike two. A lot of winning has followed Napoli. World Series Cleveland last year. A ring with Boston. Felix has him 0-2 here. Strike three called. Got him. Inning over for the Rangers. They get a run on one hit. Take that 2 hits. No errors and leave him at 2-1 ball game. Gotta love the passion of high school football. All right, Brad, thank you. Here's Mitch Haniger. Strike one to Mitch. Grounded out to short his first time. Mariners have a 2-1 lead. Kyle Seager 2-run homer in the second inning. Rudin and Odor just put a run on the board for the Rangers with a sacrifice fly.
Cashner had to throw 28 pitches in the second inning, so the Mariners making him work. And they're starting to be aggressive on his fastball early in counts. A lot of first pitch fastballs. He's had a good fastball tonight. He's topped out at 97 miles an hour.
He's ahead of Haniger here, 0-2. Haniger, Cano, and Cruz, 2, 3, 4 in the order. Which Haniger could not have picked a better time to get hot here in the month of September. Miss. Second strikeout for Cashman. Check out our T-Mobile Unlimited Baseball break, and there you go. Notable long winning streaks. UConn's women's basketball teams, you know, Oriema and company. UCLA, that was John Wooden. UCLA had that streak stopped by Notre Dame. Oklahoma football had their streak stopped by Notre Dame. Texas and Florida Atlantic baseball. And Juventus over Italian soccer, 33, and the Cleveland Indians looking for number 22 here tonight. Cano sends a high fly ball. Really drifted away from young Mr. Calhoun.
There's a lot of wind in the ballpark tonight. It's breezy. Have to pay attention to that. Again, the Mariners being aggressive on the fastball. For Cashner's first time through the lineup, he typically throws fastball a little bit more than 70% of the time, and he doesn't seem to be backing off of that right now. He feels good about it. Missed it earlier as a slider and a changeup. Occasional curveball from him as you look at the flags at the top of the stadium.
Matter of the temperature, always a factor, right?
Always.
Nelson Cruz hard hit double into the left field corner on an 0-1 pitch.
He was also aggressive. Fastball, second pitch in his at bat.
Goodness gracious, we got so many guys getting hit this year.
He didn't like that at all.
No, he did not. Well, he hit for the 10th time. Heredia has been hit 11 times. Dyson 10. Well, as strong as Nelly is, you want a piece of that, go ahead. You know, if you're a pitcher.
It just doesn't feel good at all. It's right on his hip. And again, for Cashner, he's throwing 96, 97 miles an hour. Nelson will say something to him.
It's one thing National League proponents like. Dude, he's got to swing the bat at some point. Not the case over here in the American League. Trios can't find it. Nelly's going to take off. The throw down, not in time.
Could be a wild pitch.
Nelly gets himself in a scoring position.
A little bit of a late break. He can't tell where the ball is either. He's not sure. And then he sees the umpire step away, and that's when he picks the ball up and takes off. Gets himself into scoring position. The Mariners are 1 for 4. With runners in scoring position tonight. That one hit the home run by Kyle Seager. It was right after the double. Nelson Cruz.
Seager 1-0 the count here. 2 out. Cruz at second. Count at 1-1.
So Kyle is done with runners in scoring position, hitting .280, so a little better than the rest of the team. Team batting average of .275 coming into the game.
Two and one. Odor's got to be, what, 20 paces, almost 30 paces out in short right field for Kyle.
Probably as deep as we have seen a second baseman play this year. He's going to hit it to him.
Right there. And that'll do it. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a man left to the home third. It's 2-1 Mariners. the third here in Arlington. Breakout MLB season is on Nintendo Switch. RBI Baseball 2017. It's filled with fast-paced pick up and play MLB action. All your favorite MLB teams, players, ballparks, and more. Get RBI Baseball today for Nintendo Switch. Learn more today at rbigame.com. 9-1-2 here against Felix Hernandez. Young Willie Calhoun a couple of days ago making his major league debut. Got it done with an 0-1 pitch. RBI single to right.
Through the first 2 games, he has been very aggressive.
He's done nothing but hit his tour through the minor leagues. 22 years old, Vallejo, California. Two and 1. Willie went 0 for 2 yesterday. Jeff Bannister says he's going to play him every day the rest of the season. Out of the University of Arizona. Part of the Yu Darvish deal, coming over from the Dodgers. 2-2. Going to be followed by Delano DeShields and Shin-Soo Choo. Felix expected to be up around 50 pitches. Here's pitch number 33. Played nicely by Alonso.
And I think so far you have to be happy with what you've seen from Felix's fastball at 91. Pretty good command of it overall. Good curveball and changeup.
Take a look at the Mariners calendar brought to you by Mattress Firm. Our final time here this season in Arlington, we go over to Houston. Day off at home on Monday, see the Rangers again, and then see the Tribe next weekend, the final 3 home games of the regular season. Finish things up with the A's and at the Angels. Hopefully all of those were big games that the Mariners can get a good portion of them and get into the wild card. Ball 1-2 to Shields. He grounded out to Seager.
Good command for Felix tonight. 34 pitches, 24 strikes for him. Quality strike with his fastball right there on the outside corner at the knees.
Third time Felix is seeing Texas this year. There's another strike. He got a win back on 14th of April back home in Seattle. No decision. 31st of July.
Good curveball tonight.
There's a 1-2.
There we go.
That's quality work. Second strikeout for Felix.
And he's just going to stay at the bottom of the strike zone. See the change at the bottom fall out of it. 88 miles an hour. Mentioned at the start of the game. Opponent's hitting just 167 against his changeup this year, and almost always has the changeup. It's a matter of whether he likes his slider or his curveball on a given night, but changeup always with him.
I'd like to see him get back to where he responded to Harold Reynolds. Which one of your pitches do you like? All of them. Harold interviewing Felix for MLB Network about 3 years ago when had a lot of fun in that interview. There's Chu grounded out to Cano. He's a hit on 2. Gave up a single and a double second inning, and then Odor delivered a sac fly for the only run for the Rangers. The 0-2 to Chu. Did he go? Did not.
And another good curveball from him. I think he's passing all the tests tonight. Now at 40 pitches.
1-2 pitch. Got him in chase. Tagged by Zunino. Inning over. Back-to-back Ks for Felix. He's got 3 in 3 innings and a 2-1 lead. Yeah, I like that better. I like that better, Brad. Good call, man. Very good call. Here's Yonder Alonso to lead it off, followed by Zunino and Gamble against Andrew Cashner.
Alonso with an infield hit his first time up.
2-0 count. Cashner in the second inning gave up a leadoff double to Cruz, and first pitch swinging. Kyle Seager a line drive homer right center field. Home run number 25. Yonder with the infield hit, now 1 for 3 against Cashner. Let's see him get his home run stroke back. Blows one right by Napoli. Chu's got strong, accurate arm. There's no way in the world he was running on him. So 2 for 2 night for Alonso. Here's Felix on the strikeout to DeShields, and that was a great pitch.
Good looking curveball. He's not a great changeup tonight, but he's putting the curveball in play, and it's one of the things that you want to see. Again, bursitis in his shoulder, coming back off the disabled list, but he's really looked good tonight.
He's coming off bursitis in the right shoulder, second time on a DL. And moments ago talking to trainer Rob Nodine. Three really good innings. Slow roller. Odor will take the out at first. Alonso to second. That gets the job done. There's that runner up for Ben Gamble. Ryan Garten heating up. Felix at 41 pitches. Gamble struck out on an 0-2 pitch. This one playable. Gallo on the track. 2 away. Hey, this season, former and current members of the U.S. Armed Forces, they're able to take advantage of the EQC military discount. The military ID, you're going to receive 10% off select seats at nearly every home game. Tickets are available only at the Safeco Field box office. RBI opportunity here for Guillermo Heredia with 2 down.
We need somebody else come up with a big base hit. Kyle Seager, the 2-run home run. Difference in the game so far. The Mariners are 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position. So some opportunities for him. Talked about at the beginning of the game. Cashner has pitched out of trouble this year. His opponent's batting average with runners in scoring position at 170. That is the best in the American League.
Guillermo first time up. Ground ball reached on fielder's choice. Here goes a 2-0. Way outside. Heredia, 1 hit last night. Been a tough go for him in terms of racking up some hits lately. Cashner, as we mentioned, no decision against the Yankees last time out. Start before that, 4th of August. He beat Atlanta 8-2. And Guillermo's aboard. 4-pitch walk.
Not even close, really. Got pretty good command of his fastball, but that wasn't the case in that at bat. Chirinos making a trip out to the mound. Third time for Segura at the top of the lineup. Segura 0 for 2, a ground out and a fly out. Gene will be aggressive on the fastball.
Here's another opportunity for the Mariners. Quick one to Gene. 0 for 2 tonight. Round out. Fly out.
Off speed pitch at 86 miles an hour. Looked like a changeup. Right, just straight up in the outfield.
Alonso at second. You got Heredia at first. Up the middle. Odor. Look out. No harm, no foul. They get the force at second to end the Mariners' 4th inning. They leave a couple, but lead it 2-1. Odor thought about going to first base, but Segura was getting up that line pretty good, and then he said, I better take what's right in front of me. And his unfortunate luck that Guillermo was in the midst of a pop-up slide as he tried to jump over him. Game 4. Go 3-1 in this series here at Texas. Final visit here in Arlington. Get Sounder Train and Link Light Rail tickets right to your phone. Riding is easy with the Transit Go Ticket app. 3-4-5 coming up against Felix, who has thrown 41 pitches through the first 3 innings. Andrews, Beltre, and Gallo.
And it's good to see him back out there. He had some discomfort. Was talking to Rob Nodine in the dugout after, but I think if there had been any issue at all, he would be out of the ball game. Pretty good breaking ball right there for a strike. He's had good stuff tonight. A lot of strikes for him. 42 pitches, 31 strikes for Felix.
Struck out the last 2 men that he's faced. And he's ahead of Andrews right here, 0-2. Good passive aggressive walk away by Elvis. Oh, 2 pitch. Hit down to Seager. Friendly hop. 1 away. Bill Kruger joins us right now from the Ford Sports Desk and through 40-something pitches. What do you think, Bill?
Hey, Bill, on that, when you're going out there and you mentioned it coming back from the injury, is there any one pitch that you would look at, and when you're talking about the finish of it, is it the breaking ball? Is it his fastball? What are you looking at? Yeah. Bill, on that note, too, with him going with the 50 pitches tonight, where would you expect his pitch count to be his next time out? How quickly can he get to where he can get deeper into a game, do you think?
Well, that's exciting. Hopefully he can get Gallo right here, swing and a miss. Bill, thanks so much. We'll catch you on Mariners Post Game, presented by Alaska Airlines, right after this ball game.
Encouraging words from Bill. It'd be great to have Felix back and get his pitch count up quickly. Obviously running out of games this year, so that is encouraging. Good changeup to Gallo to start him off.
0-2. He's sharp. Didn't know what to expect, right? I mean, how
could you?
Right.
Yeah, I don't think anybody could tell you. I'm not sure that Felix knew. I think you go out there, and the main thing is, one, that he's healthy. He feels good. We saw that right away in the first with his fastball and his command. And as the game has moved on, he's had exceptional stuff tonight. And so good signs across the board. Hopefully things will be fine after the game, and then he feels just fine when he wakes up in the morning, goes to the ballpark tomorrow, and everything is good. Be a huge lift to this club.
Tremendous. Expect to see him next Tuesday against these guys, if everything works out right. There's the 0-2 to Gallo.
And this will be his last hitter. Garten ready to go out in the bullpen. Felix now at 52 pitches.
1-2. See him finish on a high note. 2 ground outs to Seager. And he's got a 2-2 count here to Gallo. It's hanging up and bangs it off the wall. Kid's strong. Double for Gallo. And Scott Service coming out to get him. Gallo with his 17th double. Almost got through full.
Encouraging across the board. You have to feel good about it.
2 for 2 night for Joey Gallo. And Felix bummed he wanted to get that final out, but good job by Felix. 2-1 as he departs. 54 pitches. difference of the game. Yep, it's Felix Hernandez. First outing since the 31st of July. Looked good, Mike.
I thought he looked great. Able to retire Beltre. Was back in the second inning. Ended up with 4 strikeouts. Had a really good breaking ball tonight. His curveball was exceptional to go along with the good changeup. His fastball, right on the season, average at 91 miles an hour, but more importantly, great command. And he looked really healthy tonight, so a good sign for the Mariners. For Felix, 3 2/3, just 3 hits, 1 run. It was earned. Didn't walk anybody. A good sign there. 3 strikeouts for Felix. 54 pitches, 39 strikes.
There's a Beacon Plumbing call to the pen. It's going to bring us right-hander Ryan Garten.
For Garten, 12 appearances on the year, 6.5 ERA, 13 2/3. He has 9 strikeouts. Only sitting 269 against him. Fastball at 93. Slider curve change.
See if we can get Ryan, make that Robinson Chirinos to end this 4th inning. Doubled up to left field for Chirinos. First time up. Gallo tying run. He's at second, 2 outs. Infield straight up for Chirinos. Two and 0. Garten coming over from Tampa Bay. Got to get back in the count here, 2-0. Two balls, 1 strike. Mariners 2 runs and a 2-run homer, 2nd inning. Kyle Seager. Odor sacrifice fly in the 2nd inning for Texas. Two-one pitch. Three and 1.
Andrew Albert is getting loose in the pen for the Mariners.
No play. Count runs full. We saw Garten for a 1/3 of an inning Monday in the 5-3 Texas win. Started the season sharing, actually backing up Jonathan Lucroy, who was moved around the trade deadline to Colorado. 3-2 pitch here from Garten. Time granted at the very last second.
Garten didn't seem happy about it.
No.
Again, the umpire does not have to give the hitter time. If he thinks it's too late, typically they won't give it to the hitter, but that time he did.
It's like a coach trying to freeze a kicker there. Took it right down to the last millisecond. Three-two pitch. Guillermo will take care of it. So the Mariners go to the 5th with a 2-1 lead. Ryan Garten gets the 3rd out of the 4th inning. Runner stranded by Texas. Sports being brought to you by Safeco Insurance. Find a local agent at safeco.com. Do more. And by Steel. To find your local Steel dealer, visit steeldealers.com. Good look at one of the local pump jacks around here, or the oil industry. Here, deep in the heart of Texas. 2-1 Mariner lead. Felix Hernandez, outstanding performance. 3 2/3, 4 hits, a run. It was earned, no walks, 3 Ks.
Third time through the lineup for the Mariners. Time to add on. They scored 2 runs in the second inning on a 2-run home run by Seager. Haniger's third at bat. 0 for 2 so far tonight. Cashner now at 70 pitches, 46 strikes. Got 71 and 46.
Mariners the last 2 nights done a real nice job adding on runs.
It's a big key in this ballpark, especially against the Rangers with the way they can hit the ball out of the ballpark.
Fly ball backs up Calhoun a few steps. You know, in this world of baseball that we live in, we meet a lot of really interesting people who are stalwarts, and every year you go in, you look forward to seeing their faces, talking to them and chatting. Well, we just lost a major presence in baseball. Peg Emhoff was the Twins press box ambassador, and every time you got off the elevator when you come into town, she was there with a big smile. Hey, whatever you need, pointed you in the right direction if you didn't know where to get something. She passed away today after 42 years with the Twins, and we send our thoughts and prayers to everybody in the Twins organization and anybody in the American League who's touched by her presence.
She'll be missed by everybody, that's for sure. 42 years with the organization.
There's Robbie Cano, 0 for 2 so far. Ground out to first and fly to left. Kyle Seager 2-run homer in the second inning. And Odor sac fly was scoring so far. 2-0 to Robbie. Still looking for a career home run, number 300.
Maybe he'll get a fastball right here in a 3-0 count.
Stamp that approved.
Yes.
He takes ball 4. It'll be a 1-out base runner for Nelson Cruz. Third walk issued by Cashner. CenturyLink bringing you pitching rotation in Houston. Paxton and Morton, Erasmo Ramirez against Dallas Keuchel. Having a great year. Justin Verlander against Andrew Moore is going to get the start. Ariel Miranda, Scott Server saying basically he's gassed. He's got to stay with his normal workout routine. I don't want him throwing a baseball. He's still in good enough shape. He could probably go out and run a marathon. He's made all his starts. Just going to give him a blow. And he says he will pitch again as we move forward.
I think one of the things that made that a little bit easier is Andrew Moore really pitched well out of the bullpen the other day.
Oh, that cinched it. Yeah.
Yeah. Had an option for him to go to.
Nelly would dearly like to put one in orbit against Cashner after being hit in the hip last time up in the third. First time in the second inning. Hard hit double into the left field corner. So 1 out with Cano at first. Stung the catcher, Chirinos. Ball and 2 strikes. Here we go, 1-2 to Cruz.
Cashner still has the good fastball. 97 on the last fastball, top of the strike zone. For the Mariners, he's now at 80 pitches. You take a look at the American League leaders, runs batted in. Nelson Cruz at the top of the list with 107.
Nelson Cruz hitting against Andrew Kashner. If they have a casting call for the remake of the movie Jeremiah Johnson starring Robert Redford when he was a mountain man with full head of beard, hair like that, he's got to go to the front of the line. Three-two pitch coming up. Cruz career best 108 RBIs with Baltimore back in 2014. Smoked into the gap. Look how fast that outfield is. Robbie will get the third. Nelly digging for two, and he's in there. Second double for Nelson Cruz tonight. Gives him 27 on the season. Mariners in business. One out, runners at second and third, and Kyle Seager, Mr. Globe Life Park himself, coming up.
We'll see if they will pitch to him. This is, again, we were talking about how hard he's been hitting the baseball. Another solid line drive, and it gets into the gap in a hurry. This ball actually hits on the infield grass and almost makes it to the fence. Chu had to run as hard as he could to catch up to it.
Remarkable.
He hits the ball hard.
Alonso's on deck. You got Odor and Andrus about halfway. First pitch. Way up. Outside, ball one. A sterling opportunity here for the Mariners. One out. Seager now with 81 runs batted in. Almost the same spot.
Doug Brocail making a trip out to the mound.
Not a surprise.
Gardwine going to get loose.
Nick Gardwine.
Casher now 85 pitches, 51 strikes, and I think this conversation is more of, do we want to try to get back in the count with Kyle hitting, you have first base opener, do we want to move on to the next guy, which would be Alonso, and Alonso has a couple of hits in the ball game.
Infield hit and a hard hit base.
Yeah.
Base hit to right.
So a tough decision. We'll see what they want to do. Alonso swung the bat well tonight. I mentioned the numbers for Kyle in this ballpark. He's already hit 3 home runs in this series and had a big base hit last night to drive in a couple of runs. But they're going to pitch to him, see if he can get a strike.
Ball 3.
He has the green light.
Interesting spot right here. 3-0 to Seager. 2 on, 1 out. Takes a strike. Get Kashner on the ropes here in the 5th. And they are loaded up for Yonder Alonso. That's a 4th walk. Deep in trouble here.
I mentioned Alonso 2 for 2 in the ball game. Mariners just 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position. That was the home run from Kyle Seager back in the 2nd inning.
Yonder Mendez heating up as well. So bases loaded for Alonso. 1 out. Chance to break it open here in the 5th. Alonso, 3 home runs as a Mariner, 11 runs batted in. Hit it hard, down the line, fair ball! Scoring is Cano. Cruz right behind him. Seager digging hard, getting a wave on. Here's Odor, no throw as he drops it yonder. Alonso! A bases clearing double. And the Mariners have a 5-1 lead. 3-for-3 night for Yonder. That's his 5th double as a Mariner. And his 14th run batted in.
Well, we talked about it with the Mariners. They've done such a good job this year as he stays on the curveball. He's pulled the ball with authority a couple of times tonight. That's the curveball up in the zone. I like that he's being aggressive. Able to drive everybody in. Mariners have been scoring some runs over the last 3 games.
Zunino, he wants a piece of the action. Walking a ground out so far. Under Alonso, big spot, comes up. Big knock. Back-to-back nights. Now the Mariners have had base-loaded situation, cleared them with a big knock.
Kyle Seager last night, and Alonso tonight.
Count for Mike at 2-0. Three-ball count. Mike Z. Still only 1 out. And Zunino's aboard. Second time he's walked. That's the 3rd walk of the inning, 5th for the ball game. There's the 1st and 2nd, 1 out. And Jeff Bannister's seen enough. Mariners keeping the heat on the Rangers, a 5-1 lead, looking for more. Over for the Rangers.
Young left-hander for the Rangers. His fastball at 93 miles an hour. Slider, curve, changeup. But we'll take a look at Cashner. 4 1/3, 6 hits, 5 runs, all of them earned. He is responsible for the 2 base runners, 5 walks, a couple of strikeouts. He threw 93 pitches, 53 strikes for Cashner. Looking for Mendez, fastball at 93, slider, curve, changeup. Just his 2nd appearance. 2 1/3. 1 strikeout, hasn't walked anybody.
22 years old, from the same town that Felix Hernandez hails from, Valencia, Venezuela. 22 years old. He's got Ben Gamble, runners at first and second, 1 out.
Starts him off with a pretty good breaking ball.
Hernandez 2 games last year with Texas. Total of 3 innings. Second game here this season. Runners go. Alonso to third. He is safe. Double steal. Zunino, the trail runner, is on the move as well.
And Mike will get credit for a stolen base.
So Alonso 2 for 2 in base stealing, and Mike Zunino 1 for 1.
Yeah, Alonso, the veteran, taking advantage of a young pitcher on the mound. Mendez never looked at him.
Bring the infield up close. 1 out. 3 runs already in. Oh, and 2 to Ben Gamble. Game of inches. Wow, he just got it in there.
Mariners 2 for 8 with runners in scoring position tonight.
To Ben, way outside.
Those 2 hits have driven in all the runs. A 2-run home run by Kyle Seager and a bases clearing double by Alonso.
Back-to-back nights of 5th inning proved to be a big one for the Mariners. 2-2 to Gamble. Put in play. Odor. Runner's going to hold. And he throws out Gamble. 2 outs. See if Heredia can come up large. Let's see. This will be the 8th man to the plate here in the 5th. Guillermo 0 for 1 with a walk. Pitch and change. Mendez gets an out. And we'll come back with this pitching change right after these messages. Runners at first and second. But don't forget, coming up college night on Thursday, the 21st of September. Make sure you join us. Students can score $13 tickets, plus enjoy extended happy hour, including $6 beers and discounted pizza. Visit mariners.com/college for tickets. Guillermo Heredia face Nick Gardwine.
6 appearances, a 1.93 ERA, just 4 2/3 so far this year. Opponent's hitting .250. He's given up 1 home run. Good fastball at 95 miles an hour, a cutter and a changeup.
Nick, 24 years old, out of Effingham, Illinois, and Kaskaskia College in Arcola, Illinois. 7th game in the big leagues. Ball 1. Guillermo looking for his first hit. Reached on a fielder's choice and walked. Go ahead, wind 2/3 of an inning Tuesday night. Hit and a walk. To Guillermo Heredia. 3 walks in this inning, 2 have scored. Love taking advantage of the gimmies. One pitch. Guillermo, the 8th man to the plate, 5th inning. Bases clearing double by Yonder Alonso, and he's at 3rd with Zunino at 2nd.
Yonder's offensive. Yes, they've scored runs, but they put a lot of pressure on the Rangers, giving themselves plenty of opportunities. We're working here in the 5th, and they are 2 for 9 with runners in scoring position tonight. They've done over the last 3 days is hit the ball out of the ballpark. Missed Kyle Seager his home run. 25 home runs for Kyle now, 81 RBIs on the year. 3rd home run for Kyle in this series. He continues his hot hitting here in Arlington.
Hopefully carry it over to Houston. He hit 3 home runs against Houston back home in Seattle last weekend.
Nelson Cruz there with Kyle Nelson. A couple of doubles for him in the ball game.
Way outside to Heredia. 2-2. Two-two pitch with 2 outs and 2 on. Calhoun is there to make the play. Good inning nonetheless for the Mariners. 3 runs on 2 hits. No errors, leave 2. Go to the bottom of the 5th, a 5-1 Mariner lead. The Mariners a 5-1 lead. Bottom 5 coming up, in this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. Fans in the house here. Jay Buhner look-alike.
Andrew Albert is going to take over, left-hander for the Mariners. Been in the starting rotation, working out of the bullpen today. 5 appearances, 4-1 record, a 2.67 ERA. Has really pitched well. 20 strikeouts, over 6 walks for Andrew. Opponent's hitting just 257 against him.
He's got the bottom third of the order here in the 5th.
And a couple of left-handers for him, including Odor, who's going to lead off. The righty Napoli, then the lefty Calhoun, number 9 hitter.
People may be seeing Albers for the first time. What has made him so successful?
Well, he throws a lot of strikes. He'll use both sides of the plate. His fastball is going to be right around 88 to 90 miles an hour. Feels good. He might hit 91, 92, but his command has just been excellent. Mixing a slider with it and a changeup. The thing is, he's been around for a while. He pitched a lot at the major league level, but has pitched a lot everywhere else. He has a real good idea of what he is about and what he's capable of doing, but more importantly, just throws strikes. You get the call right there. That looked like it was at the bottom of the strike zone.
2-0 to Odor. He's accounted for the only run from Texas. Sacrifice fly, 2nd inning. Seager should have a play, and he's got room. On away. Comes up Mike Napoli. Said it last time, I'll say it again. Some big tip in the cap for Albers. That tough first inning he suffered in New York against the Yankees. 5 errors in that inning. He just kept grinding along and wound up, what did he go, 5 or 6 innings in that game? Did a nice job.
Really pitched well in that outing. Not much help in the first.
He can put that as a chapter in his book. The day I pitched well at Yankee Stadium. And
well, I can tell you what, it was one of the very first things that Scott Service talked about after the game.
Yeah,
was that inning and the way that he held it together, continued to pitch, and was able to work deeper, even though it was killing his pitch count. Scott was really impressed with that. And that's all he was trying to do, was make an impression at that time. And he's pitched well.
Ball 1 to Napoli. Yeah, that was the Sunday, August 27th game at the stadium. 6 runs, 1 earned. And Napoli goes down swinging. Very effective so far, first 2 batters. Willie Calhoun, rookie, grabbed it out the first.
I think for Scott right now, I think we have at least a couple of innings out of him if he can. Love to see him pitch through the 7th, and you can turn it over to Vincent and Diaz. We saw Diaz last night. He topped out at 102.
Oh my goodness! Was that the easiest 102 we've seen?
He looked great last night. Wasn't a save opportunity for him, but he hadn't worked in a while, so they had to get him in the game, and he looked terrific.
He's got me saying 4 days sitting down. That's too much. That's the max. Got to get him in. So he said Diaz was more than willing, ready, and able to come in tonight if needed. Guillermo got a great jump. 3 up, 3 down. Nice inning, Andrew Albers. When we come back, see the top of the order for the Mariners in the 6th. fans treating themselves, Mariner fans treating themselves here at Globe Life Park. A couple of treats. I hope, boy, that's a lot of sharing going on right there. Next Wednesday marks the final Safeco Insurance Triple Play ticket night of the season. Your last chance to take advantage of this special offer that includes a ticket, a hot dog, and Pepsi, or beer for as low as $26. Tickets at Mariners.com. Gene Segura, this will be his 4th plate appearance. First hit. On the mound, Nick Gardwine came on and got the final out of the 5th inning. Gene tonight ground out the 1st. Fly to right. And grounded into the force to end the 4th inning. Just joining us, Felix Hernandez, first start since July 31. Matter of fact, that was right here.
He looked good. He looked really good tonight. Threw the ball well. Good fastball. Great command tonight. Saw the changeup from him. A really good curveball.
54 pitches, 3 2/3 innings, 4 runs. It was earned, 4 hits, and a run. It was earned, no walks, and 3 Ks.
Good sign across the board for Felix.
Tomorrow we'll be in Houston. James Paxton will come out and perform at a high level as well. His game's precious few now.
And hopefully Felix will feel great tomorrow.
Yeah,
come over to the ballpark and get his work in and look forward to his next start.
That should be Scott Service's first text tomorrow.
I'm sure it will be.
Yeah. How you doing, my man?
Yeah, I'm sure it will be.
What you got for me? One and 2.
Couple of late swings. Gardwine with a good fastball. You can see that last one at 96 miles an hour. 95 on average, so he'll touch 97.
Ball and 2 strikes. Cleveland in pursuit of its 22nd consecutive win. Bottom 9 now, just starting. Down 2-1. Kansas City with the lead. Yankees killing Baltimore 13-2 in the 8th. Minnesota 2-1 over Toronto in the 6th. Just 12 games in the major leagues tonight, as opposed to the regular 15. 2-2 pitch. Hello.
That will wake you up, but especially with Gene, because Gene lets the ball travel so far. Probably lets the ball get as deep in the hitting area as anybody in the lineup. And 95 miles an hour, late reaction for him. Able to get out of the way. Everything else has been away in this at bat.
2 payoff.
Mitch Haniger waiting on deck. Mitch has also been hot lately, swinging the bat well. Good signs for the Mariners. Look at this. What an at bat.
That was fabulous.
That's a good sign when he's able to do that. 9 pitches in the at bat, and he's going to get a fastball. That is a ball. It's not on the plate. But to see him shoot it the other way, didn't overswing, just put the ball in play, and a solid base hit for him. Now 1 for 4 tonight. Now we'll bring up Mitch. Putting him to pull on the infield. Odor playing up the middle. You see the second baseman straight up in the outfield. Huge hole on the right side of the infield with Napoli having to hold Segura on.
Don't forget how fast the surface is. Team got a crazy jump.
That's why Chirinos didn't even bother. A running start for Segura.
21st stolen base. Third Mariners stolen base tonight. Had a double steal, Alonso and Zunino back in the 5th.
To see him stay healthy next year with his legs. It's one of the real pluses for him coming over. His ability to steal bases, run the bases, but some leg injuries this year have slowed him down.
A couple stints on the DL, and he's leading the league in hitting. It's a lot of fun to think about had he stayed healthy. At the very least, he'd probably still be in the top 10. So Gene 1 for 4 tonight. Hannigan trying to pick him up now. There you go. 150th career stolen base for Gene Segura.
Quick visit for Chirinos, catcher.
To Mitch. The Indians down 2-1. 1 out, runner at first as they play in Cleveland, down 2-1 to Kansas City. Indians trying to win. Doug Roquel just bounces out of the dugout again.
Another hitter's count for a Mariner. 2-0. Another right-hander getting loose out in the pen for the Rangers. Nobody throwing in the Mariners bullpen.
I heard, and I think I'm right. I heard, let's go Mariners cheer. Keller just reactivated yesterday. A man from Seattle. Chance for Haniger here. Nobody out. Heading the count, and a runner at second. They give him the entire right side of the infield. Let's see what gives here. Cut. 2-1. Last two nights, 8-1 Mariners, 10-3 Mariners. Big lead here this evening, looking to build on it. 2-1 pitch.
Let's give the Mariners a lot of credit. They are taking advantage of hitters' counts, and here's another one for Mitch. 3-1 count.
Go to town right here.
Yeah, Gardline, he's pretty proud of his fastball. He's topped out at 97 miles an hour. Kella's still getting loose in the pen for the Rangers.
Segura at second. 3-1 pitch. Scored with a walk. Leave here, go to Houston. And CenturyLink bringing you what's next. We look forward to the return of James Paxton. He'll go against Charlie Morton. Rossmo against Keuchel, and Edgar Moore against Verlander. Mariners on the season 5-11 against Houston and 3-4 in H-Town. Pitching change, Keona Keller, Chief Self High School, coming in. Mariners lead at 5-1, looking to increase that advantage. gentlemen aboard. Nobody out. Robbie Cano coming up. And the Cleveland Indians trying to make it 22 consecutive wins. Here's some other notable long recent streaks. Well, the Oklahoma, it goes back to the 50s, but that's one of the best ones in college football. The Tribe trying to make it 22, already an American League record. They just tied the game up. 2 outs in the 9th, 2-2 against Kansas City. Crowd going crazy in Cleveland. McKellar takes over. Here's Robbie Cano, 0 for 2, walk and a run scored.
McKellar, a hard-throwing right-hander for the Rangers. Good breaking ball right there. His average fastball this year is at 96 miles an hour. Chirinos was crossed up. That was a curveball. 34 appearances for him, a 4-1 record, 2.36 ERA, 46 strikeouts and 34 and a third. Opponents hitting just 128 against him.
Bobby sitting on 299 home runs. And Nelson Cruz on deck, who's had a fine night. One and one. Cano 0 for 2 against Kellum. The 1-1 pitch here. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Straight up in the outfield with Robbie hitting.
Cano with the ground out to first, fly to left and a walk. Scored on the Alonso bases clearing double. Drive deep to center. Going back is DeShields. He's under. Tagging is Segura. He'll make his way to third. And the wild card update. Twins 2-1 over the Blue Jays. Twins, the Yankees started the day holding the top 2 spots. Yankees blowing out Baltimore tonight. In the wild card standings up to the moment, they look like this. Mariners have a chance to get above 500, gain some ground.
Mariners pulling for the Blue Jays right now. They need some help. 3.5 behind.
Houston and the Angels, they're underway. Top of the first. That's in Anaheim. There's Cruz. Really with a double, hard hit double down the left field line, second inning. Hit by pitch in the third. And double to right center in the 5th. That was the one you made a good point. Hit the infield grass and scooted all the way almost to the wall.
Yeah. That's how fast the field is here.
And how hard he hit it.
Yeah.
So 0-1 here. 1 out, runners at the corners. Ellie blisters one, left field, base hit. Scoring is Segura. And the Mariners have a 6-1 lead. 3 military-grade base hits tonight by Nelson Cruz. 2 doubles and a single. Picks up an RBI. 108 ties his career best set in Baltimore in 2014.
And it leads the league. And this is on a breaking ball. Just out of the reach of Andrus, the shortstop. I think maybe he would have been able to get his glove on it. Probably takes his glove off into left field. That's how hard he hit it. Screaming line drive into left.
And that brings up Kyle Seager. Still only 1 out. Runners at first and second. Congratulations to Nelson Cruz, 108 RBIs, tied his career best, 14th season in Baltimore. Seager 0 for 2 against Keone Kela. Way inside. Times here for the Mariners, 6-1. Trying to win this series 3 games to 1. Next stop, Houston. 1-1 pitch. Swing by Kyle.
Best fastball from Kela so far at 98 miles an hour. Good aggressive swing from Kyle. Why not? 3 home runs in the series. Drove in a couple of runs yesterday with a base hit.
So 1-2 pitch. Foul play. Keep this up, win this ball game. They go to Houston. They all feel good. Last time they were at Houston, they won 2 out of 3 in July. There you go. Sinking liner. Can't get it. Here comes Haniger. He's going to score. Cruz will hold it second. RBI for Seager, his 3rd tonight. Mariners lead at 7-1.
Towards the end of the bat for Kyle, you can see the breaking ball. DeShields froze it first, then he started to break in. Once he saw it was going to fall in front of him, tremendous effort for him to try to get to it. Will be a base hit, another base hit. The Mariners are now 4 for 13 with runners in scoring position, so plenty of opportunities. You can see his glove turn over.
There's Alonso, 3 for 3, 2 singles and a 3-run double. Alonso, the 6th man to the plate. All these doings with 1 out. Take. $21,931 on hand here. Mariners chasing Andrew Cashner after 4 to 3rd, the starter for Texas. Kela, 3rd man out of the pen. He did go as they check with Vic Carapazza. That didn't hurt, did it?
No, not at all.
Check in with 3rd base umpire.
The timing of it was fairly quick as well.
Yes, it did. Two balls, 2 strikes. Cleveland and Kansas City have gone to the 10th. 2-2 ball game.
Mike Zunino, another hot hitter for the Mariners, waiting on deck.
Hill wanted that one, didn't get it. Full count to Alonso. Cruz at second. He got Seager at first. One down. Alonso's got 3 hits. See if he can make it 4. Not too quick on that one.
Looks like a changeup at 83. Keller so far has topped out at 98 miles an hour. Doesn't seem to bother the Mariners at all.
Your 3-2 pitch to Alonso. Takes for ball 4. Mariners have him loaded up again. Jeff Bannister wearing out a path from that dugout perch of his. Moving to third, Cruz. Moving to second, Seager. The hitter's going to be Mike Zunino. 0 for 1. He's walked twice. Pitching change, yet another one. 7-1. Mariners with the bases loaded and 1 out. Dirk spent a lot of time in the minor leagues. Originally drafted by the Mariners. Is what he's done this year.
21 appearances for him, 35 strikeouts, over 19 walks. Let's think 272. Fastball at 90, cutter, slider, curve, changeup.
Bases loaded for Zunino. Mike's 1 for 2 against him. Slingshot. Strike 1. Mike did seem to like that, but it's right there in the box. Mike 2 walks and a ground out tonight. Went 2 for 2 last night. 2 homers and 2 walks. 3rd multi-home run game. Chance for big damage here. 1-1. Bases filled with Mariners. Cruz at third, Seager at second, Alonso at first. Still only 1 out. Mike in the driver's seat here, 2-1.
Throughout this series, he has shown a lot of patience. Mentioned the 2 home runs he hit yesterday. He also had 2 walks yesterday.
There goes the 2-1 pitch. Two. Like another pass at a pitch like that, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it was a breaking ball. Kind of backed up on him a little bit. Stayed on the inside corner. I thought it was going to go more to the middle of the plate, but it didn't.
Two pitch here to Mike. He must throw him a strike. Full count. Ben Gamble's on deck. Three base runners. Ready to haul the mail. Here we go, 3-2. That's a base hit. Scoring is Cruz, and he'll stop Seager right there. Mike Zunino coming up big. He just continues to pound the baseball. 8-1 Seattle. Another RBI from Mike. That's his 59th.
Nelson Cruz has scored his 3rd run of the ball game. And Mike patient, gets himself into a hitter's count. Here's the fastball at 90 miles an hour, and he hits it hard through the left side of the infield.
Good looking inning here for the Mariners in the 6th. 8th man to the plate is Ben Gamble. 1 out, base is still loaded. 3 runs in, back-to-back innings with 3 runs. Strike 1. Gamble a strikeout, foul out, and a ground out. 8-1 Mariner lead. They have 10 hits. Up the middle. Odor flip to Andrews for 1. And Gamble beats it out. Run scores. 9-1 Mariners. Good hustle by Gamble. Running hard to first. Fielder's choice RBI. Scoring on the play, Seager.
And Kyle scores his 3rd run, and Ben always running hard, trying to beat it out. And for his hustle, he will pick up an RBI.
His 53rd. Two away.
9th hitter. Heredia stepping in, looking for his first base hit. Mariners are 5 for 15 with runners in scoring position tonight. We're in the 6th inning, so a lot of opportunities for them, and they're cashing them in.
Strike 1. Gamble trying to keep it going here. 9th man to the plate in the 6th. Runners at the corners. Gene Segura hoping to swing the bat for the 2nd time in this inning. If Guillermo can get aboard.
He started it all with a base hit.
Two and 1. They've been in hitters counts all night.
Yep.
You got Alonso at 3rd. You got Gamble at 1st. 2-1 pitch to Heredia. He's got a 3-1 count. Advantage Guillermo. Chance to make it happen here. 3-1. Evans Dirks. Long hold pitch. Drive deep to left. Man, hooking foul. Thought he had the cookie he wanted. 3-2.
Ball hit off the second deck, bounced all the way back onto the field. Calhoun, the left fielder, had to go run it down. That's who they're waiting on. Diaz with his catcher's glove on. I don't think that's going to happen tonight.
Tell you what, he was popping that glove last night.
He really was. He missed it. He topped out at 102 miles an hour.
Straight gas homie. That was unreal. 3-2 pitch. Two outs and a 3-2 pitch. Gamble at first. He takes off. And Guillermo takes ball 4. So the Mariners have batted around. Bases are loaded again. Another walk by this Texas pitching staff.
Nobody getting loose in either pen. Alvarez had pitched the bottom of the 5th inning. It was a 1-2-3 5th inning for him, but he's been in the dugout for more than a half hour now.
Every bit. Gene can put it in play hard somewhere.
A great at bat. 9 pitches. Ended up hitting a line drive into right field to get the inning started. Also stole second base and scored the first run of the inning.
Tenth man to the plate. He's gonna nibble his way into a whole bunch of trouble here. He's gonna have to throw a strike. One to Segura with the bases loaded, 2 outs, 4 runs in. Very late. We get a final. Brandon Maurer, a former Mariner, just gave up a bullet line drive down the right field line to Jay Bruce. Tried 3-2 over the Royals. That's 22 consecutive victories. I'll see them next week in Seattle. Segura, 1-2 pitch coming. He's the 10th man to the plate here in the 6th. Well, Jay Bruce paid big dividends since coming over from the Mets. 1-2. Oh, in and out, and he held on the second carom. 4 runs, 4 hits, no errors. They lead 3, 9-1 Mariners. that. 3 in the 5th, 4 in the 6th. And the Indians, Jay Bruce with a game winner in the 10th. And now they've got 22 consecutive victories and within reach of the New York Giants in 1916. This is what it means in the wild card chase. Kansas City falls back. Mariners can step up, get a game over 500. They'll be rooting for Houston against the Angels tonight. Orioles got pounded by the Yankees earlier. Andrew Alberts, his job now, just continue to throw strikes. Top of the order for the Texas Rangers. Delino DeShields. Alberts, the 3rd pitcher of the night. Felix Hernandez, much anticipated return from the disabled list. And he looked good. 3 2/3, 4 hits, 1 run. No walks, 3 Ks. Top of the order for Alberts against these Rangers: DeShields, Chu, and Andrews. Popped up out of play. Mariners getting it done here tonight. Old call of offensive stars his last 3 nights been pretty doggone long. Gotta love it. Seager's driven in 3. Alonso's driven in 3. Zunino with an RBI. Gamble with an RBI. Cruz with an RBI. Strike 3 called. 1 away.
Fastball command has been excellent this year. I really like his curveball. Seen his curveball already in this at bat. It was 68 miles an hour. DeShields didn't like it at all. He thought that pitch was down, but it was clearly a strike.
With 1 out, brings up Shin-Soo Choo. Talking about offensive productivity. 4, 5, and 6 hitters for the Mariners. 8 for 9, 9 RBIs. Cruz, Seager, and Alonso. Pound in the zone. All 2 strikes to Chu. 0 for 2. Ground out to second and striking. Fly ball left field. Easy play for Gamble. Two outs here in the 6th. Make sure you join us for Fan Appreciation Night. It's presented by Emirates Airline and Holland America Line on Friday, September 22nd. Great prize giveaways, including TVs, autographed jerseys, and more. Plus, spectacular post-game fireworks show, courtesy of T-Mobile. Get your tickets at Mariners.com.
And it will be those Cleveland Indians.
Oh, yeah.
Again, win tonight in extra innings. 22 in a row for them.
Mariners played at the Land, Cleveland, back on April 28, 29, 30. Lost 2 out of 3.
These will be obviously big games for him, a huge series for him.
Don't forget, big for Cleveland as it continues to make a run at the best record in the American League. They started tonight 2.5 games up on Houston.
And that will be the last series for the Mariners in the regular season at home.
Two and 2 to Elvis Andrews. He's 0 for 2. Fly to left, ground out to 3rd. Only run for the Rangers came in the 2nd inning. A 1-out single by Gallo, double by Chirinos, sac fly Odor. Three and 2. Going back is Gamble. up on the track. There it is. 1, 2, 3 in the 6. Andrew Albers, a clean inning. Nicely done. 9-1 Mariners. It's being brought to you by BNSF Railway, sponsor of the BNSF Blast. By CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. By Jack in the Box, come try the new Smoky Jack Burger or Chicken Sandwich, limited time only. And by Money Tree, proud to make a donation to Mariners Care for every Mariners win. We're in Arlington, Texas. Mariners pouring it on, top of the 7th, 9-1. Third consecutive night of monster offensive work. A.J. Griffin will take over now.
15 appearances, 5.5 ERA, 72 innings pitched, 58 strikeouts, 27 walks. He's given up 18 home runs this year.
Could be first relief appearance by A.J. Griffin. He's got Mitch Haniger as the leadoff man. Mitch looking for his first hit, 0 for 3, a walk and a run scored. .66 miles an hour on that one. Back to it. 65.
Wow.
Holy mackerel. A.J. Jimenez and at the catch position, and Ryan Wood takes over first. There's Robbie Cano looking for his first hit, 0 for 3, walk and a run scored. So you got A.J. Griffin pitching to A.J. Jimenez. And we'll see A.J. Hinch tomorrow, manager of the Houston Astros. The Mariners are 5-11 against Houston. 2-7 back home, 3-4 at Houston. Last time in, 1, 2 out of 3.
Be another big series for the Mariners. Houston not playing as well as they were earlier. 5-5 over the last 10 games. They lost yesterday. They're up ahead of the Angels tonight.
2-0 to second.
But another opportunity for the Mariners.
Three and 1 to Cano. Sitting on 299 career home runs, tied for 145th. Mile high pop. Andrews going back. Settles under it. 2 away. Schedule's out for next season. Some of the highlights that you can look forward to. Mariners will open up March 29th against the Cleveland Indians, and that is truly an opening day night for Major League Baseball. Everybody starts on the 29th. Coming to town, the Red Sox, the Dodgers, and the Yankees all visit for weekend series and summer holidays to get the trifecta: Memorial Day, 4th of July, and Labor Day. Really liking his off-speed work tonight. That was 67, so he said 65, 66, and 67 so far tonight.
Well, his fastball is going to be mid-upper 80s. Seen his changeup and the slow curveball, changeup around 80 miles an hour. So he will continue to mix it up. It's the way that he has to pitch. Not an overpowering fastball at all.
Cleveland Indians win 22nd consecutive game and do it in 10th. Rally in the 9th to tie. 3-2. They beat Kansas City, and that helps the Mariners. Kansas City was a half game behind the Mariners starting today. Nice job by Nelly. And Nelly fouled that off.
His best fastball so far at 89 miles an hour.
Griffin, career mark of 34 and 21, a 4.26 ERA. Down the line, that's got a lot of carry. That baby is off the foul pole and gone. Home run, Nelson Cruz. Boom, stick, baby, his 33rd. Second RBI tonight. It's a career best 109 RBIs. Mariners in double figures, 10-1 Seattle.
He has scored 4 runs tonight. A couple of doubles, a base hit. They mentioned 2 RBIs and scored 4 runs. Take a look at it. Here's the fastball in the outside corner. Routine fly ball for most, but not for that man.
Get that right. Working the pole. What an offensive night. There's 10 runs on 11 hits, and they've left 10 men on. Oh, 2 to Kyle. 3 Cole. Inning highlighted by Nelson Cruz. Hitting one off the foul pole. Put the Mariners in double figures. 10-1 Seattle. the lottery. You can stretch your imagination like never before, so play today. The Mariners are not leaving much to the imagination here. Blunt force trauma on these Texas Rangers tonight. First look at Jacob Hunneman in center field. You've seen him swing the bat a couple of times. Gordon Beckham takes over at second. And Taylor Motter at third. Beltre, big swing and a miss, just back from hamstring strain at the end of August. His word originally a couple of days ago, season was over, but he was activated 2 days ago, pinch hit yesterday. Comes up with a base hit here. Beltre, that's career hit number 3,036.
And I'm sure we'll see a pinch runner for him.
Indeed.
And we will.
So Drew Robinson going to pinch run for him. Pinch running Drew Robinson. And Joey Gallo will be the hitter. Big swing and a miss. Gallo 2 hits. Second inning single to left. Double to left center in the fourth. Albers came on in the fifth. Retired the first 6 men that he faced. Look at it.
And he hit him. That was not what he wanted to do on 0-2 count. And a few times we've seen the fastball get away from him.
A.J. Jimenez will get a chance to swing the bat. Took over the catching duties for Robinson Chirinos when this game got out of hand. Bill Kruger joins us right now. Give me your thoughts, Billy, on Mr. Albers, because I know we've been very impressed by him.
I do, yes.
Good point.
Bill, I'll be curious because I was thinking about this when I was watching. Nice play by Zunino. He makes the catch.
Wow, that is really well done.
I think they're going to say that maybe it hit the net. Yeah, Laz
Diaz
Diaz saying it hit the net. But Bill, I'd be curious. I was thinking about it just because we just watched Griffin do it too, and the curveball, 65 to 68 miles an hour. As a pitcher, when you talk about his fastball at 88, what are you trying to do? Are you hoping that they take it? Is there an effect to it? Because for me, Albers, it seems that he was able to keep it on the outside corner. I'll be curious too, Bill, just to get your thoughts on James Paxton. We talked about Felix earlier. Pax is going to go. It looks like he's slated for 60, 65. What are some of the things you're going to be looking for from him? Yeah. When you look at those two, when you look at Felix and then Pax, some people were asking me about it, and I said that I think it's important because if things break the right way for the Mariners and they find a way to get into this thing, you have to have those two at the top of the rotation, don't you think? Yeah. Well, I think that you would agree with this, Bill, and that's something that I talked about at the beginning of this series. They had a couple of teams that were ahead of them that they still had some sort of control over, and Texas being one, and they were able to take care of some business here as Odor gets into this one. But then also you have the Angels at the end of it, so outside of that you need some help, right?
There's a lot of team that would not be their druthers, let me tell you. No question about it. Bill, thanks so much, man. Catch you on Mariners postgame presented by Alaska Airlines. Coming up right after this one is Odor. Just hit a 3-run homer. His 29th. Takes his RBI total to 69. So 1 out.
First at bat for Ryan Rua in the game for Napoli.
Roberts retired the first 6 men that he faced, gives up a base hit, a hit batter, gets a strikeout, then a 3-run homer.
You can see Ryan Rua has been a hot hitter over the last 6 games. Nobody getting loose in the Mariner pen.
Two and two here to Ryan Rua. Counts run full. That is a foul ball. Play here in the 8th. Been a great night for the Mariners. 2 in the 2nd, 3 in the 5th, 4 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th for their 10 runs. Scott will be pleased here with a tough go in the 7th for Albers. He's going to throw a double play ball. He's got Willie Calhoun here. Kid just called up a few days ago.
And Calhoun will be aggressive in his at bat, so maybe he can get the ground ball.
Strike one, Willie tonight. Ground out to first, lined out to center. Just a baby, 22 years old. A big time hitter in the Dodger and Texas organizations.
And there's a slow curveball again. Quickly ahead. Leadoff hitter DeShields waiting.
Waiting for Calhoun to pull. Pops it up. There's Segura. 2 away. Top of the order into Shields. Be the 7th man to the plate here in the 7th inning. Mariners infield now: Motter, Segura, Beckham, and Alonso. Gamble, Hanneman, and Haniger in the outfield.
Shields 0 for 3. A couple of strikeouts for him.
There's a strike. Albert's a quick worker.
A couple of quick innings for him, and then in this inning, second hitter was Gallo. He had him 0-2, ended up hitting him with a pitch, and that's when the problem started for him. Lindor gets the 3-run homer. A walk then to Rua.
Two outs, a man aboard. 3 runs in for the Rangers. Mariners have taken advantage of 8 walks by Texas. Pitching 3 have scored.
We talked about it in this ballpark. You can't afford to do that. You have to play some clean defense.
Alonso for the 3rd out, as the Rangers get 3 runs on 2 hits, no errors, and leave them in. 10-4, good buddy, to the 8th.
And how about Felix Hernandez? Great to see him back up on the mound. We talked about it before the game. He's going to go about 50 pitches. There's his buddy Adrian Beltre, just an easy ground ball back to him. Felix had everything working tonight. Good fastball, 91 miles an hour, was able to locate it, had the change up and the slow curveball, so a good outing for Felix. He ended up throwing 54 pitches in the outing.
Yander Alonso, what a night. 3 for 3, 3 ribbies and a walk. And a bases clearing double in the 5th inning. Take the Mariner lead from 2-1 to 5-1. Off of the glove of A.J. Griffin, who's shortstop. Gosselin throws him out. 1-6-3. Tune in every Sunday to watch a new episode of Mariners All Access. Get exclusive player interviews, behind-the-scenes footage, and Mariners stories you can't find anywhere else. If you do miss Sunday's episode, tune in for re-airs throughout the week on Root Sports. For your local programming schedule, visit rootsports.com. Third consecutive big offensive night for the Mariners. They have 10 runs on 11 hits tonight, 8 runs on 11 hits last night, and the night before 10 runs on 15 hits. Mike Margima swinging bat here. Takes Anino's place. And he drives this one right center field near the 377 mark with Jared Hoying hauls it in. Quick 2 outs. So Phil Goslin, the shortstop for the Rangers. There's Ben Gamble with 2 outs, nobody on. Gamble with an RBI fielder's choice. Go for 4.
Well, a common theme for tonight. Another hitter's count for a Mariner.
Well, I'll say. If you're Edgar Martinez and Scott Brocious, a fun chart. Put a nice little reel together. How to deliver damage ahead in the count.
That's certainly the case tonight. About 3-1.
Take his walk. Boy, I know that they've had their moments, but wow, that's really being a fan there. Yes, indeed. That is one large glove. My goodness. Hey, increases your odds at a foul ball. Use it almost like a hockey goalie. Just stop it. You don't even have to catch it. This is a 9th walk by Texas pitching tonight. 3 have scored. Jacob Hanneman at the plate. Well, who can get in the lower 60s tonight? AJ Griffin or Albers? Both of them.
Griffin so far is the winner at 65.
Boy, they have thrown some cotton balls up there.
There's 65.
Hanneman, just his 3rd game with the Mariners, 2nd at bat. One and 2 the count. The big news in Major League Baseball. Cleveland Indians rally in the 9th, win it in the 10th. 22nd consecutive victory. Swing and a miss. Hanneman's gone. So are the Mariners in the 8th. Leave a man on. Right now enjoying a 10-4 lead to the bottom of the 8th. Bottom of the 8th inning. And make your voice heard. Nominate your favorite plays of the week by tweeting us using the hashtag RootFanFave each month. One lucky fan's going to win a Coors Light mini fridge just for participating. For official rules, visit rootsports.com. 3 brilliant nights of offense here by the Mariners. Andrew Albers will continue on. Jared Hoying swinging the bat for the first time. Two, 3, 4 in the order for the Rangers. Gosselin's on deck. Make that a 2-1 pitch and a line drive base hit. Haniger gets it back in. Gonna bring up Phil Gosselin.
His first plate appearance.
Yep, Point was a 197 hitter. Gosselin still looking for his first hit since coming to the Rangers. 0 for 3. This is his 7th game.
And Albert's going to try to get a double play ball if he can. Over 60 pitches now.
Gosselin, a journeyman's been with Atlanta, Arizona, and Pittsburgh.
Nick Vincent starting to get loose in the Mariner pen.
Ball 2 strikes.
There's Nick. Normally we would see him pitching in the 8th with the Mariners having a lead, but he needs to get some work. Typically in this type of game he would not get loose, but it's been a few days, just like it was for Diaz last night, so Nick probably will pitch the 9th.
Heard these Ric Flair-like screams in Houston on our previous trips.
Oh, that's right. Another slow curveball at 69 miles an hour.
Mariners go to Houston after this. 5-11 against the Astros this season. 3-4 at Minute Maid. They did win 2 of the last 3 there. That was July 17, 18, and 19. Broken bat. There's a double play. Whoa, you're talking about. Safe at first.
I have to say that was pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you got Albers fielding the ball, avoiding the bat, making a decent throw under those circumstances, right?
Right, exactly my point. And it seems that they're both there about the same time.
Ooh.
The ball just chasing him, maybe even hit the barrel after it was broken. And he stays with the play.
Man, oh man, good feet.
Gets his feet out of the way.
Calm.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could have done that, right? I mean, you've had this bat and ball come at you.
Yeah, no, exactly. I'm further away.
I mean,
So that's really good.
he's finishing up at 54 feet.
That's pretty, yeah.
Drew Robinson pinch ran for Beltray in the DH position, so his first plate appearance. One away here in the 8th inning. 0-2 to Robinson. 0-2 pitch. Albers came on to pitch the 5th inning. Felix Hernandez got it started. Did well. 3 2/3, 4 hits, a run, no walks, 3 Ks, 54 pitches, 39 for strikes. Ryan Gart in the 3rd of an inning. Albers has gone 3 1/3. Now 3 2/3 with this strikeout, his 4th. 2 outs. Brings up Joey Gallo. Justin Smoak just tied it up for the Blue Jays. 2-2, Toronto and the Twins. Justin Smoak with a home run. 38th home run. Puts him 1 behind Chris Davis of Oakland. Breaking ball. It took a sharp turn once it got off the grass, right?
Exactly. That's a very good call. 73 pitches for Andrew, so he will take the weekend off. I'll try it again.
Really good work by Albers. 12-game winner. The Atlanta organization before coming over to the Mariners. 31-year-old from Saskatchewan, North Battleford. Strike 3 called, got him, came back with a fastball to end the 8th inning. Mariners lead 10-4 as we go to the 9th. They're in the process of winning 3 out of 4 here in Arlington. CenturyLink bringing you what's next. Next stop, Houston, where the Mariners last won 2 out of 3 in a visit in July. It'll be Paxton and Morton, Ramirez and Keuchel, Moore and Verlander. In this 3-game series, then the Mariners will come home, day off Monday, and then take on these Rangers again for 3 games, and the Cleveland Indians next weekend. Here's Segura. Strike 1, top of the order for the Mariners.
And again, that Houston series, a big series for the Mariners. They'll take care of some business here. Need to play well in Houston. Segura's this fly ball out to right. Good pitching matchups, too.
Mariners tonight are in the series. Outscored Texas 31-13. Goslin moves over to second base. Robinson at shortstop. Here's ground ball, third. Haniger is retired. 2 away.
Gordon Beckham came into the game for Robinson Cano, play second base.
Nice to get these regulars, get them off their feet.
You bet. There aren't any breaks along the way, that's for sure. They're all playing.
That's for sure. Strike one. On 2 to Gordon. Veteran, been around. Curveball hung up in the air, and he sends it to right field to Hoying. 1, 2, 3 in the ninth. Last ups here for the Rangers. Mariners got it all the way, 10-4. Pretty exciting, no question, Brad. Thank you very much. As Jimenez fouls off the first pitch from Andrew Albers. Stellar tonight, taking over in the 5th inning. Other part of this story, Felix Hernandez, first action since the 31st of July, which happened to be here. Strike 2. Felix goes 3 2/3, 4 hits, a run, no walks, 3 Ks, 54 pitches, 39 for strikes. Justin Smoke tying up the Toronto-Minnesota game. Hit a breaking ball down and in, batting left-handed. And launched it a long way into the Minnesota night. All of 2 strikes here. Here comes Ben Gamble. 1 out. Will Middlebrooks chance to swing it. One out, nobody on here in the 9th inning. Ground ball to Beckham.
Tricky little hop that he was able to handle right there. Kind of an in-between hop. It looked pretty routine.
Andrew Albert, boy, a big tip of the cap, everybody, to this young man. Coming on in relief, saving the bullpen. Saves us up nicely for this weekend.
Yeah, it does. 81 pitches for him so far in the game. He obviously will not pitch this weekend, so he's had to work hard tonight, but he can put his feet up.
Yeah, it's well deserved.
You bet.
Mariners 10 runs on 11 hits, no errors. They've left 11 men on. 4 runs, 6 hits, no errors. 4 left on by the Rangers. A lot of big nights. No play for Alonso. Nelson Cruz with his 33rd home run, drove in 2 runs. He's got a career best now at 109 on a 1-2-3-4 hit night. He was hit by a pitch. Seager, a 2-run homer, an RBI single. He scored 3 times. Mariners have outscored Texas 31-13 in the series. Alonso with 3 hits, including a bases clearing double. RBI single for Zunino. RBI fielder's choice Gamble. It's a good roll call.
It really is. Well, you wanted to see it, and the guys have really been swinging the bats well. They had a number of hitters hot lately. You mentioned Zunino, one of them. Haniger, of course. Segura starting to swing it. See Nelson Cruz pick up a home run because he's been hitting the ball extremely hard.
Unreal. Strike 3 called, and that's your ball game. Mariners take 3 out of 4 here at Texas. Andrew Albert gets the win. Really nice.